Oh, building a tree of decayable stuff?
Well, it's just
Embers. Are those embers? Wood. So
this
you're
is
going to
wood.
use fire.
I'm just gonna burn it down. All I'm gonna do is drop just a
Burn
tiny,
it down. Burn it all.
tiny little bit of hot stuff on it to catch it on fire and let it burn down. Oh, but you know what? Hold on. Let's
Too late.
let's
It's
pause it.
burning.
Can I put it out? Let me select water
Water.
so we can get it put out.
Fire brigade is on its way.
Yes, almost. Yes, with that
Hey,
little bit
that's a unit we can have a fire
with the
truck.
fire extinguisher. Yeah, with these
A fire
embers.
truck.
Poof. Okay, those embers sometimes will fly off, and then if they touch something flammable, they'll set it back on fire.
There's a unit, a
And then,
custom unit to be built, the fire truck unit.
of course, lava does bad things to water, turns it up into steam. But of course, the lava cools down, right? Turns into stone. Oops, and lava caught the wood on fire. Oh no, I'm gonna lose the tree after all. Put it out, put it out, put it out. Okay.
There's a now only the wood should have been subject to gravity and fall down.
You know, that, yeah, okay, yeah. So there's two parts to what you can do in a sand simulation. There's the pure sand simulator itself, which is what this is. And then there is this optional thing where you can identify discrete pieces of geometry and you dynamically create, say, physics colliders or rigid bodies to go around them and then let them be controlled by a physics engine, like some units are. I'm not doing that right now, but it's from a game choice perspective. If everything starts falling down and collapsing, it's kind of a problem in a strategy game.
Yeah, it's a different thing then. Yeah, I agree.
If everything, like if all these pieces constantly fell down, then it's just doesn't. At least in my experience, it's just not working for the kind of strategy game that
That you
this
wanted
wants to
to
be.
write.
Yeah. That said, there are still, let's see, if we go to some units here, I mean, a lot of these units are controlled by physics. So this little info cache thing here, when he's created, he has a he has a rigid body around him that allows colliding with the environment and physics. So he bounces and rotates and has momentum and angular momentum and all that stuff. These little packets will chase him down. It's a curious problem, um, how to, let's take a
I
different.
do that thing you had in that one mission that I played that I hated so much, where the acid rain kept pouring down for some reason.
Oh,
There was
that.
this vicious cycle of horribleness.
Okay, yeah. So let's go back here. Let's let's get rid of some of the water because we just sort of want. Actually, let's clear the anti-creeper so we can see this better. We don't want any leftover residual water here. Let's just clear that up. So if you create some lava, something hot, right? Let's let that kind of settle down, flow down. If you then put acid, acid will boil when it hits it and will turn into a vapor that will fly up, that will then condense and then fall back down as acid. And I put just a little bit. You can see it all evaporated into, and then it condenses and it falls down, and then back up it goes, and then down it goes. And if we pause it at any given moment here, we can see and point at it. You look right here. This is called acid rain. Should be called acid vapor, really, and this stuff should be called, well, it's acid again. So there's two states for it: the regular state and then the evaporative state. And then it falls back down. And when it hits, it creates a little splash. That's what you see. And these are particles that are flying up and around. So this business here is, let's take our museum ship out for a spin.
And destroy it.
It's not enough probably to destroy it, but it's
No,
enough to.
that's very little compared to what I had to deal with. This is almost nothing.
Yeah, this stuff is corrosive to the ship. So you can see as it's falling through it, it's actually heating it up. If there was enough of it,
And there goes this little spanner to show it's being repaired.
Yeah, so it is
image.
taking damage
It's
here. Yeah,
taking more and more progressively. Oh, now you're destroying it.
yeah. It will even. Let's pause it right fast and move. Well, let's move this guy nearby, and I don't have to
Yeah.
go hunt them. Let's just shift click.
Do you have any defenses against acid rain? Or acid for that matter?
Not not a lot. Shields, but it burns through shields too. So if I
So so there are less defenses against acid than there is against
a creeper
against creeper.
currently, yeah.
Interesting.
All right, guys, get in here. Get this shield built. Let's see what happens.
Well, something's going to pool on top of it, and it will be acid that eats through it. So
Let's see what happens.
and it's going to run over and be acid rain anyway.
Yeah, interestingly enough, it looks like I might have changed this so that it doesn't corrode the shields.
Okay.
Let's put a lip on each side. And then
submerge your ship in
let's
acid.
put some more in here and see what happens. Let's just move him up a little bit.
Onager asks if water doesn't interact with acid.
So here's the deal. So if I go to the sand editor and gotta remember where this is. Where did I put it? Is it here? No, these are the actions, and I'm drawing a blank right now where I put. Oh, right here at the top, the big gray button, edit interactions. So here's the deal, right? So acid and metal interact. That's what this box means. Acid and metal interact. When that happens, acid stays acid and metal turns into smoke. So acid burns through metal. It converts metal into smoke. Now these numbers here are the rate at which it does it, or the time. You can click the little icon here to change it between rate and time. So acid rain, that stuff that was flying up, plus metal, also melts it. So if I put some metal in there, acid rain would corrode it as well. Acid plus molten metal, which is what you get if lava touches metal, it also burns that up. So acid is just an acid rain, which just eats through metal in all of its forms. Acid rain and molten metal eats through it. Acid and loose metal. There's a thing called loose metal, another sand type. So here we go. Here's lava and water. Water turns into smoke. Lava turns into stone. Lava and ice. The ice turns into water, and the lava turns into stone. So if there's more lava, then that water would react and turn in. So an ember and water.
The question was really about acid and water. Is there any action defined for those two?
It doesn't look like there is. Acid and lava. So what do you want? What would happen? What do we want to happen?
No, it was just a question if there would be any. But
I know. I'm just entertaining the idea. What would we...
Okay, ask Onager. Let's ask the guy who asked it. He's a long-time guy on the. What should
happen?
Water interaction be?
There could
we'll ask somebody in the stream chat and see what they say.
All right, so there could be a new thing called dilute acid, maybe a new type.
But diluted acid isn't really good for anything.
But what is that? What does dilute acid do?
Exactly. So
right, it could turn acid into water.
Could you turn? Okay, just for grins, could you turn it into ice?
I guess. Let's see what happens.
Well, let's see what Owner just said. Maybe he'll tell us in a second or so.
Where do I add these?
To my mind, diluted acid is still acid, right?
Right. So, water and...
So let's think of a good chain reaction. If you take something and it's ash, is there something that creates ash?
I have a stone type, but
So,
or an em.
okay, but bear with me.
Yeah.
If you use ash, you can get lye, and lye
Okay.
counters acid.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about some sort of alkaline material, some sort of
Yes.
base. Yeah, we need that, right? Some sort of what, high
Okay.
pH,
Energy just says make it inert.
inert. So,
Stone.
um,
Stone.
so acid could turn into. I mean, we could define another type, but of the types I have,
Stone. Loose
okay,
stone.
just do
Loose.
stone. And what happens to the water? Uh, it,
Water turns into
smoke,
yeah,
vapor, yeah,
vapor.
terp gas.
Turp gas. There you go.
Smoke's the general one for just something that rises and goes away. And I guess there's no interaction delay. It would be instantaneous. I don't even know what that'll do. Let's find out. So let's get rid. Not that. Let's get rid of the lava. Oh, there's some water here. Oh, this stuff's overflowing. And I'm selected on acid. So acid and water, poof. Yeah, that worked, right? So the acid hits the water. It turns into stone. And then the water is turning into
Vapor or
smoke. Yeah. And off it goes.
Piotr joined the stream, or at least he started typing, and he also voted for my suggestion of getting a what was it, the base?
Oh, some sort of alkaline, a high pH to
Yes.
counteract. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But that's for late. That's for later. We leave that as an exercise for the map makers.
Yeah, I am, the however many maps I end up in the story mode. I try to make sure every mission has something new. So I'll no doubt will explore that as well as some other types of sand that are more reactive, not just combining, but sort of like fire effects and stuff like that.
Mm.
There's other stuff to do. You can also, I've not played much with this, but let's pick what's a type here. This will be our last thing. Stone, sure, stone, just the stone. So if I go to the definition of stone, which is right here,
13, yeah.
and all these parameters, which are part of the structure for every little particle of sand, I can do embedded creeper 1000. Yeah, I think that means that this stone now contains creeper, which means that if I dig it up, just one little spot, the creeper is going to come flying out of it. 1,000 per sand particle, which is a lot. And if it was set to either auto decay or react with something else, then you could see you could have a real nightmare, right? Because right now it's perfectly stable. If I touch it and dig it, I release creeper. So I'm turning physics gravity off, and I've turned creeper gravity off, and I have created a new sand type. Sand is a generic term for all terrain types, by the way. It's not just a type called sand. Anyway, it is set so that units can move over it, but the creeper, it has a flow height, so it's as if the creeper has to be above 1,000 to flow over it, and this lighter green stuff, it has to be above 1,200 or so to flow over it. And I put some Kirkium here, and it's covered with creeper. Kirkium has a flow height at 2147, so it's really high, so the creeper is going to flow off of it, and it's going to create waves. And this creeper is already 990 deep, which means it's like when you're at the beach. The water is right there at the beach, so anything that disturbs it's going to push it up. So if I let the simulation run, these waves, as it runs off of this Kirkium, are going to splash up over these islands. And your ships can deploy on the islands, and you can now build on the islands. And the graphics for these ships is almost trivially changeable. They're all user definable. I didn't do anything special in the game to make these ships. There's a JSON definition file and some PNG files in a directory and some scripts or some controllers. So you can imagine making top view
Now,
ships.
I think more to the point now, basically on these islands, could you have, I don't know how they work, different gravities, but it wouldn't make sense, would it?
Different gravities. I mean, there could be, there could be different fields. If you're talking about what Creep World 2 called field containers.
Yes, maybe that would be more appropriate on a top-down map.
There are, believe it or not, the game has field containers, and I've showed
Yeah,
them to nobody.
I know you have.
I've showed them to nobody other than you, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, we'll keep it hidden for now for the big game.
Yeah, they can be rectangles that contain an arbitrary number of fields that point in different directions, and they can be programmatically changed. So they come and they go and they move, and they have pin fields so they can pick Creeper up and move it. Remember, I used that in Creeper World 2 to make moving Creeper shapes.
You used it in Creeper World 3 as well.
I did,
yeah. Pin fields in the credits mission.
I did, yeah.
It was a fantastic mission, and nobody ever took that mechanism and walked with it.
They did. I don't think they did. Yeah, I love that credits mission. That's the best credits mission I ever did. Was the Creeper World 3.
Yes, it was fantastic.
I liked it. I should have just made a game, a whole game mode like that. But
it's time for you. You're still young.
Yeah. Well, okay, but not by the definition of most people watching, but yeah. So you can do weird things like this. I should be able to build the packets. They'll sneak along the edge here and then jump across. They can make it so far through the creeper.
Yeah,